myself. Why am I everywhere? Why am I everywhere? And I realized that our topic today is Ori. I'm serious. That's the reason why I'm here, so that I can know what to do next. But then, much more than that, I remember that Coach B said last week that singleness of purpose. And it just made me sit down and say, what is the one thing that is most important that is single that I can do now? And I just find myself doing it today, just doing that. I'm not being everywhere, even in my brain, bringing my brain to just do one thing. Because I even realized that from a book I read, it was talking about how we are rewiring our brain and damaging our brain by being everywhere at the same time. Like giving my brain just that, give that consciousness that you can do this one single thing and do it well. Then you can move to. No one is worrying. Stop worrying your brain and your mind. It's fine. So that's all, and I'm
There's
so
no.
here to know what we're going to learn. Yeah.
Wow, if you're just joining us, welcome in the room. I see you, Angela. That's my BFF, riding since nursery school, and Ajane, my sister. Um, we're taking comments from our last class. We're taking, what have you really applied, or what have you seen come up in terms of just how your mindset has shifted, or actions you took, or just awarenesses that guided your thinking and your actions. So, Chaka, please go right ahead and share. You guys,
Okay.
again, yeah, put up your hand if you
Okay.
do want to speak, and
Yes,
I'll
sure.
call you up
Hello,
right.
everyone. Good
Hey,
evening. At least good evening in my
Chaka.
part of the world. Good evening, Lady Bralade. How you doing? So it's been a very reflecting and exciting time for me. I'm sharing the Majesty of Calmness with everybody I know. I'm telling them, have you read this book? You need to read it. And then I also found the audio on YouTube, which I can also listen to so over and over again. And it's been a flow for me. So something happened that triggered me to, and then I realized that something I thought was beneath me. When I say beneath me, I thought I didn't behave badly like that. At least I didn't think I behaved badly. But this week, somebody triggered me. And because I was more aware of not being of calmness and not being in a hurry, I was triggered. And I want to use that to say, see, you haven't dealt with this thing. This is a problem you need to deal with. And I didn't think I had that. If you had asked me last week, I'd be like, oh, no, I don't have this is not me. But I think that what the book has done is heighten discernment in areas that I may have overlooked. And so now I'm hearing God more clearly say, you need to deal with this. You are not okay. I need that kind of maturity to go out of your life based on where you're going to. So that's what has been for me. This week, what triggered me does not make any sense. But I remembered Majesty of Calmness, breathe, Chaka, breathe. And so it's really been a good season for me. Thank you.
Is giving queen. The queen is like, I want to slap someone, but like, oh, okay, there's a crown on my
No,
head. There's a crown on my
exactly.
head, so I gotta.
Exactly.
And I think this is something that we all need to be aware of. Just the fact that um, it doesn't mean the thoughts won't come to us. Other thoughts, conflicting thoughts won't come to us. It's just, what did we eventually choose? Anu said something. She said singleness of purpose. Singleness of purpose. So out of the situation, what do I want? What does my peace want? What does my purpose want? What is my progress in this matter? None of this is that. So I'll just, yeah, you can have this one, or I've spoken on it and that's that. Do you understand? Like, and something else, Shaka, you said, sometimes we don't realize um, what we need in the moment that we start taking advantage of that resource. Is in the future, when that demand is made, you will see that, okay, I guess I stored this for such a time as this. Because when you leave here, the Bible says that the devil will come to steal the word. But I like to think about it almost like it's a period of testing. And what do tests do? Tests help you ground and really establish that which you have learned. So it's a good thing. Ajane, and one more person, put up your hand and we'll take you right after Ajane. Please go ahead.
Hello. This I have so much to unpack just from between the first chapter and the second chapter. So I really pray that I'm not long-winded and that you just follow me through this journey that's been happening in my mind. But I think the biggest thing for me is that I've had to give myself afresh over the past week permission to live in perpetual peace. I have actually had to declare violently and aggressively over myself that I have permission to live in peace, because I'm realizing that boundaries have a way of rejecting an invitation to live in cycles of chaos. So every time that I have set boundaries around my time, my schedule, my availability, even in just the past week, I've seen this like resurgence of, attitude, hostility, combatant ways in the people around me. And I'm realizing that it's because they're not living in the majesty of calmness. They're living in a place of unrest and disruption and hurry and rushing and anxiety. And when you reject the invitation to join them in that place, they get mad. And so one of the things that I had to go back to from page 9 in the first chapter was, he said, study the disturbing elements, each by itself, being all the willpower of your nature to bear, bringing all the willpower of your nature to bear upon them. So that was beginning to overlap with 2 Corinthians 10 verses 4-6 for me. So I was like, something is happening here for me. This overlap from what he's saying about studying the elements that are being disturbed by your calmness and by your peace. And then what Apostle Paul is saying about exercising authority and dominion over restlessness and disruptions. So I was like, there's a tactical and surgical approach to spiritual warfare that I'm finding in this text, like discerning the disturbance and then dissecting its root and being diligent about understanding the origin of it. So what I began to understand is that when people are inviting me into restlessness, it's not necessarily that they're just having a bad day or they're confused or they're all over the place. Like there's a spirit of religion behind that makes them want to work because they don't know how to be. There's like an absence of sonship. So I'm like, the devil is a liar. You're not about to get me. I am not coming over there in religion land with you. Absolutely
That's not my
not.
position.
Yeah, no. It's giving heirdom. I'm not coming over there. So I've had to reject, like, I love the person, but I've had to set a natural boundary with people and then get in the realm of the spirit and deal with the thing that's operating behind it. Like, I'm not coming into agreement with religion. I'm not coming into agreement with rejection, because sometimes it's that perfectionism. People want to invite you into the place of confusing the boundary between excellence and perfectionism. So for me, it's turned into war naturally. It's turned into me giving myself permission to live in peace and then warring from that place against what wants to disturb it. So that's where I've been.
Y'all, I'm about to exit stage and give the mic to Ajane. Just like, here's my mic. Look at me drinking water. And I wasn't even the one who spoke, but like, I'm thirsty because I've been talking all the while Ajane was speaking. No, Ajane, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, look at her quoting and stuff. My word. This is exactly how I use books. This is how I use books. This is how I use the Bible. In fact, sometimes I read scripture and people are like, is that in the Bible? Because I just basically made it like, Brother Paul just stopped by, like he lives down the street and he stopped by and just said something. I'm like, wait, what you really mean? How's this working? I don't see them as people of old who lived once upon a time. No, it's real. It's real. The people you move with, in fact, let me not even lie. Every single person, including the people who were around Jesus, they tried him, or they were a channel sometimes of introducing chaos into his space. And he stood just as firm, whether it was John the Beloved, his mother, it doesn't matter who the person was. He just like, this is a boundary and that's it. And you guys know I talk about boundaries a lot, which we will be coming to in the new year. I'll be having those more practical classes, but no one has any business setting boundaries with others if you haven't set it within yourself to say, this is how we, when I say we, me, myself, and I, this is how we, the entity, behave. This is how we will present ourselves in public. This is how we will protect our hearts and the gift of God that dwells within us. This is how we will not stay up all night worrying. This is how we will move in the majesticness of calm. This is how we're going to move. And then when you have, the Bible says, well, possessing your own souls, when you have possessed your soul, then you can go out there and war and win. But if the battle in here isn't won, anything else is superficial. And you still find there's still no joy there. There's no peace out there because you didn't have the peace inside to begin with. Okay. And one more person. Ogo, I know you can speak today. I just know you can. Anu, are you still raising your hand? If not, I'll lower it. One more person, one more person. Who are you?
Okay, I'll
It's
go.
okay, go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. And I think for me, the thing that really stuck out to me was calmness helping me to navigate the space between where I am and where I see myself being. So that was very illuminating, you know. Very often there's that question, oh, how do I manage the fact that there's so much to do between where I am and where I need to go? And the idea that it's in the place of calmness that I even actually begin to understand where I am. You know, so the part where you talked about being able to reflect on yourself accurately, being able to really look at your life and assess it in a way that is productive. So these are things that I really enjoyed and have stayed with me from Sunday. This week has been really tough. It's been a tough week. Lost two people, one a classmate and one the husband of a friend. And it's been a very, it's been, you know, yeah, death, loss, grief always brings back echoes of those things that have happened in the past. And I think one of the things that has helped me has been, and whereas in the past, I think most people would encounter me and say I'm a very calm person, but a lot of times in the past, it's really just been repression. But I think now it's more being mindful of what's happening, not pushing it down and pretending it's not happening, not just trying to, you know, push past it, but allowing yourself to feel it in the moment, allowing yourself to share it with others around you. So these are things that I've noticed myself doing this week that I ordinarily wouldn't have done as much. So I'm really grateful for that.
Love it, Ogo. Thank you so much for sharing. Isn't it good? The things that we bring to the fore of our minds. Because we have a treasure trove in our subconscious, but a lot of times they don't always come back up. And from what you're saying, it's not so much the external display of calmness, which is something that we still want to culture ourselves with, we still want to cultivate, but more of what is going on inside you. And there's nothing like grief to question the fundamental meaning of life. Why are we even here? How do we just start out the day and someone else isn't here and you're just supposed to go on like everything is okay? You're right. I also lost a family member this week, and just the mindlessness of it, especially when it's someone who is younger, who, you know, wasn't sick or anything major. It is one of the most destabilizing things. And I think I'll start from there because I've had to send this to 3 people this week, people who are facing grief or who a family member is facing like a really, really dire diagnosis. And it says this thing, he said about grief. And if any of you have it, feel free to put it in the chat. You probably know where it is. In chapter 1, it says, when the hand of death touches the one we hold dearest, paralyzes our energy. Have you noticed when you hear some of this kind of thing, you can't even pray. Even if you're praying, it's like, because you know you're not praying to raise the person. There's a kind of prayer of warfare sometimes that we are trying to pray. In fact, imagine someone telling you that, don't worry, I want to go. And you know you don't have jurisdiction over that person. So it is now your own acceptance. It says, paralyzes our energy, just renders us unable to move. Remember, grief is not just about an actual person dying. It might be the transition from one city to the other, moving companies, losing your livelihood, losing a part of your body. Like whatever comes to an end that is permanent, a relationship, it says, when it paralyzes our energy and eclipses the sun of our life, because some people have lost their actual children, there's no greater grief in my mind. The calmness that has been accumulating in long years. From that day you said, Lord Jesus, come into my life. You're now my Lord and Savior. And this peace came to reside in your heart. From when you were facing little challenges and his word brought, you know, comfort to your heart. It brought assurance to you. So the calmness that has been accumulated in long years becomes in a moment our refuge, our reserve strength. There's something in you that doesn't quite cascade over the edge of despair. There's just something right there. You know that right now, I feel like it's all over. This is what it looks like. Yet there's something in you holding you up. It's holding you up like the literal puppet string off the top of the mannequin's head is holding you up and bearing you up and saying, we can do one more day. We can do two more and three more. And if nothing else, just remember those disciples who were, who were thinking, it's all over. This Jesus will put our hope in his dying. Yet none of them went and said, you know what, let's all end it, crucify all of us, we've given up. Somehow they still were able to hold on till he arose again. And those crazy women who were like, give me his body, saying, life is over. What are you still? It is a measure of calmness that can do that. All right, so remember that, because I sense, again, remember what we said about the tests that will come for the word. They're right in front of you. Well, today's topic, who's excited about it? I know the title is the title is giving, what's happening? It's giving horror film. Hurry, the Scourge of America. Okay, I live in America. The author wrote the book in America, so he was talking about the American society. But as we have known, in this age of globalization and social media and just the internet, we've all become one village. We've all become one world. And so hurry, the scourge of the world, the scourge of modern society. Hurry. And you might be wondering, okay, we just learned about the majesty of calm. We looked about how does that look like? But we're going to talk about the things that impact upon the majesty of calmness, some of those things which you have seen even this week that we just went through, as well as what we're going into. There is a world out there that is on such a pace that if you don't determine your own pace, you're going to get swept up in the rapids of its society. On Sunday, we're going to be taking the power of personal influence. And when the world is doing this thing, you are that person who comes in and you superimpose your own pace into your world and your own ideals. And you determine, right? So today, let's first analyze what this looks like and what you have been, how you have been just subtly mixed into the craziness of the hurry of this world, okay? All right. So if we know that calmness is a good thing, class has started, bring out your notebooks, your journals, your pens. You know, I've been writing in this book. I think I posted it on social media. I've just been writing. I love pretty books, by the way. So y'all get some. And I've been writing, I've been reading, I've been highlighting my book as well. If you can, I would say print your copies. I know it's digital. Print your copies and have it with you so that you can refer to it at any time. I printed my copy as well because when I looked at this one, I bought the book, the print is small. I don't want to write all over my book, all over. So I printed it. I have it on my screen. So we're going to go through it, okay? If you're ready, can I see your emojis? We are here again. I know, why so dramatic? Like there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama. Okay. All right. Let's start from the very first section and let me make my screen bigger and invite you in. I mean, the very first chapter is like, whoa, just hit us over the head with a stick. Share. Okay. So going into this very first chapter, he went straight into creation. And it's amazing that he did that because he said the first sermon in the world was preached at the creation. It was a divine protest against hurry. Do you guys remember, what does the Bible say? Genesis, somebody open Genesis chapter 1 and just read the first 3 verses. Just Open the Bible and read the first 3 verses for me. Remember, we're co-teachers and co-sharers. I know Ashane's Bible is like right by her somewhere.
Because I was like, is it me? Because I'll wait.
I know your Bible is right there, so
Yeah,
just read.
here.
Just
Okay. I'm in the Amplified version. Genesis 1, starting at verse 1 says, in the beginning, God created by forming from nothing the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and void, or a waste and emptiness, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, primeval ocean that covered the unformed earth. The Spirit of God was moving, hovering, brooding over the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light.
Okay, so between the former verse and God said, so what you were reading about, if you read that and God said was what verse? What verse did it start?
And
3?
God said, let there be. That's verse 3.
Okay, so now read 2 again.
Verse 2 says, the earth was formless and void, or a waste and emptiness, and darkness was on the face of the deep.
Okay, so there is chaos right now. There is pressure. There is this conflict. There is bills. There are all these many things. And it didn't say God was scurrying around trying to fix, the darkness upon the face of the deep, or the chaos, or this one. It's like he collected himself together. And then he was like, after assessing the chaos, he took himself outside the chaos. It didn't speak to his state of mind. It didn't speak to his frazzledness. It just spoke to, almost like it was planned, but it just said there was chaos. There were all these, say that verse 2 again. And if some of you have that verse 2 in the Message Bible or something, put it in the chat as well. Just that verse 2.
The earth was formless and void, or a waste and emptiness, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. The Spirit of God was moving, hovering, brooding over the face of the waters.
That is us. That is literal us, hovering over the face of the chaos, hovering over the pace of this world, hovering over. It was already chaotic. It was already scattered. Everything was out of form. Everything was not as he determined it. And it just said, this, first of all, the Spirit contemplated. The Spirit didn't rush in to start going crazy. Wow, oh my gosh, this is going crazy. And what do I do? Nah, just calm, just real calmly brooding. It's almost like, Spirit, do you see imagine you were with your friend and both of you were making stuff and your friend's own was chaotic. And they just sat there just contemplating over the thing, literally looking at the thing. They didn't even turn away. Now they're looking at the thing and they're like, I wonder what we can make with this chaos. Like, girl, get to work. Where do I start? I don't know, anywhere. Just do something. I said no. It was a divine.
Over 6.
Okay. It was a divine protest against hurry. It was a divine protest against hurry. Please just put in the chat, I'm protesting against hurry. My life is a protest against hurry, just by the way you live your life. You can't be swept into frenzies and trends just divinely. We're just like, we're not a part of that. It was a divine object lesson of perfect law, perfect plan, perfect order, perfect method. But you just said everything was chaotic. How does perfect law come out from chaos? How does perfect plan, perfect order, perfect method? 6 days of work carefully planned. Again, remember the repeat of this word, planning, because planning supposes that you actually have time. But the world is moving fast. There is hurry. But planning is supposing that you actually have time to decide what you want to do with this, to gather your thoughts and decide on a singleness of purpose. Okay, this is the course of action. We're going to create a world. We're going to make man in our image. Okay, he's going to need food, so we're going to have to create the waters and the seas, birds. Okay, yeah, it'll be good to introduce some beauty. So let's not only just do animals that he'll eat, let's put some pretty things up there as well. 6 days of work carefully planned. Number 2, scheduled. So it's one thing for you to, have a goal, then you plan it out, and then you schedule it. Even me, as I'm looking at this, I'm just like, wow, I have the goals, I have the plan. Sometimes I don't have the schedule. He scheduled it out. He didn't start creating man on the first day. He didn't start creating light on the third day. There was perfect order. There was perfect plan. The things that succeeded themselves did so for a reason. It wasn't haphazard. It was thoughtful. Completed. How many times do we start things that we don't complete? So in his execution, there was thought into it. We're followed by what? Oh my gosh, like God literally planned his rest. He didn't say, oh my God, this work is so hard, so I just collapsed. On the 6th day, I couldn't. I just burnt out. On the 6th day, do you know creating a world is really hard? Like, it's so hard. No, he didn't say that. He planned it all out. You can't do that without calm. It can't be done. So whether we accept the story as literal or figurative, as the account of successive days or of ages, because some people will be like, no, one day with God is like 1,000 days, with man. So he didn't like create in a literal day. It was 1,000 years. However you say it, it matters little if we but learn the lesson. So there is a lesson to be learned. There is a lesson to be learned. Creation itself is like it protests against hurry. How do you feel when you're in the kitchen sometimes? You look at all the different things you're putting together. They don't look like each other. When you're getting the flour, it doesn't look like cake. You're getting the milk. The viscosity is too high for something like, or too low? Yes. It's too low for something that looks like a sponge cake. But you bring all these components together. Sugar looks too hard. And I remember my friend Joko Tade, she said, when God was creating all those things, if we were there, if man was there, they would be like, what are you doing? Like today you created light. I thought you were in the light business, because the next day he was creating the sea. I thought you were in the sea business. What is this one again? Everything looks disjointed. But for the person who has a perfect plan, perfect order, they're coming from within, from a vision. They're coming from a place of a finished work. He had already seen within himself what this is supposed to look like. He was just putting it out there in the world now. So patience is required for anything worth creating. God had to exercise patience. He had to. Your life, your relationships, your day, your work, everything requires this time. Going back to the cake again, there's a time to mix in the flour. There's a time to beat in the eggs. This is why I don't bake like that, because I'm used to, oh my gosh, is the salt not enough? Put some more thickener. Oh, it's now too thick. Pour some water in there. But when you're creating a masterpiece, you can't do that, because there's a time for everything. There's a temperature. There's a duration. You can't say, I'm trying to bake this cake really fast, so I'm going to do 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. You can't say that. There is perfect order, perfect plan. If you take it out too soon, cake will, or bread will just kind of fall into itself. If you leave it in too long, it just hardens. There's just so many components. So when you think about it, you realize that there is thoughtfulness, there is order within you and within the visions that you carry, that if you're going to bring it to bear in this world, you're going to have to take some time to just protest against hurry and be like, I refuse to be swept in. I refuse to be swept in. That is the place from which we create. Somebody say, I hear. Somebody say, I hear. Okay. Now we go to the next paragraph. Has anything struck you about creation already? Just creation.
Are you kidding? Yes.
Oh my gosh. You know, many times God shows us so much, but it's like, it's you, God, it's not me. So are you sure? Wait, what did I tap on? Can y'all see my screen? Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Okay, hold on one second. I'll share my screen too again. All right. So nature, what is all this about nature, right? We've already spoke about how God was so intentional about creation. And from the day he set that thing in order, he put nature in charge of this world. There are laws that operate in this world. He even talks about some of them. The law of seed time and harvest will not cease. Many great philosophers and other things that are embedded in scripture talks about the laws. There's night, there's day, there's many things. If you listen to one of the greatest philosophers that ever lived, Solomon, you would see how he would talk about the laws of nature. So don't think this world is in chaos. This world is not in chaos. It's in perfect order. This universe is not falling and hurtling off into nowhere. It's in perfect order. So nature is a product of God, and it simulates what happens when God puts his finger on something. It keeps moving till he asks it to stop. So realize nature is very un-American. Nature, wherever you live, very un-Nigerian, very un-UK. It doesn't respect culture. It doesn't respect, motives. It just acts. It just acts and gives results. Now, it never hurries. Every phase of her working shows what? It shows plan, it shows calmness, reliability, and absence of hurry. Look at all this work, all these things. I look at all my plans that I do, and I'm thinking to myself, brother, there is a way to create. There is a way to be. There's a way to be. And when you say create, don't just think of your goals and your visions and your dreams. How you woke up this morning, how you created the morning, how you created the evening you're currently experiencing is supposed to be guided by this perfect plan, perfect method, perfect execution, perfect scheduling. It's supposed to be guided by that. Hurry never implies lack of definite method. Always implies, rather, lack of definite method. How are we doing this? I don't know. Let's just get started. However it turns out, we'll just keep doing it. No, that is lack of definite method. I don't know when I said that. I didn't really mean to say that. Hurry. Think about it. Many of the things that you've kind of said, if you kind of gave it a night to think, the things that you regret, not the things that you are proud of. If you gave it a night to think, if you waited, maybe you wouldn't have said that. So there is a hurry component in things that cause confusion. Impatience of slow growth. I think this one is the one that's going to hit all of us in modern societies. We don't like slow. Why? I think of how people had to make coffee in those days. They had to grind the beans leisurely. They had to let it simmer. And now we have instant. It's like dissolve my coffee. In fact, I don't care. Just the burger is done in 1 minute. We're proud of those things. Impatience of slow growth. Now going here, the Tower of Babel, the world's first skyscraper, was a failure because of hurry. The workers mistook their arrogant ambition for inspiration. You know how we're all very visionary. We want to do this. We want to do it yesterday. And a lot of times it's arrogant ambition. How do you know it is arrogant ambition? When there's no plan, when there's no peace, when it's not reliable, when there is hurry, when there's confusion. They had too many builders, no architect, and they thought to make up the lack of a head by the superfluity of hands. How many times maybe you've been going through something and you are calling 10 people, help me do this, pray, this person, this, everything is happening at the same time. There's no calmness. Too many hands in the pot, too many cooks in the kitchen. This is a characteristic of hurry. Anytime you feel the energy of frazzled, anytime you feel that, it is a characteristic of hurry. It seeks ever to make energy a substitute for a clearly defined plan. Have you ever seen babies, like children? They're tired. You can see they're tired. And they start scrambling. If you're not an experienced caregiver, you would say this child is not sleepy. You could almost swear that that child couldn't possibly be sleepy. Do you see that child? They're shouting the loudest. Why? Because they are mistaking energy for being awake. No. A clearly defined plan will trump energy any day. And this energy, it's not to talk about your energy to execute on the plan, but just busyness. This was what Martha had going on. Jesus is here. Mary sat down and thought, what is Jesus about? Oh, he's rabbi. He's a teacher. He's a healer. He's all these things. So if Jesus leaves here today, what do I want? Do I want to be able to say, I hung out with Jesus, we took a selfie, we ate together, he's our friend? Or do I want to hear words that will transform my whole existence? And this is why Jesus said, Mary has chosen the better way. She has chosen. But Martha was busy. I keep arguing for Martha till tomorrow. I'll argue for Martha because Jesus, I know you said Mary chose the better way, but you needed to eat too. Someone had to feed you. Well, did it have to be Martha? That's a question for another day. And could she say, Mary, please take notes because once I finish cooking, I want to come see your notes. Because if she did that, she probably wouldn't be upset with Mary. But what did she do? She was upset and she was like, why are you guys focusing on what's not important? Why are you? But that was important. Energy is never a substitute for a clearly defined plan. The result is ever as hopeless as trying to transform a hobby horse into a real steed by brisk riding. I don't know. There's a vision of some boyfriends that just entered my head. If we just, I can work it out because you think it's by power, right? I can work it out if we just, if we go for this counseling, if we talk to this person, if I just endure more, and you're trying to sustain something that should have died. I don't know who's pulling that out, but that is another energy of hurry, that idea of sunken cost. Okay, but we already started building this tower. How do you ask us to rest? We already started this venture. How do you say stop? Martha is saying, I'm already in the kitchen. How do you ask me to come listen? But he's saying a clearly defined plan will always trump energy. It will. It will. As you look at this part, just think to yourself, what do I want? I want to plan. 3 steps I'll say here. Plan, purpose, progress. These are the 3 things I want you to bear in mind. With anything you're doing, what's my plan? And plan doesn't mean you should have been strategizing and brainstorming months in advance. It can be in an instant, just like Abigail did when trouble faced her. A plan. What's my plan? Calmness says definite method. Chaos says lack of definite method. You will decide, do I want to stay on the column of calmness? Do I want to stay on the column of chaos? So what's my plan? I don't know, whatever. As it just comes to me, what did they said I should do this? Anytime you see that energy, the plan is definite method. It doesn't mean your method may be the right method. But are you definite at least so that you can then attempt to execute it? The second one is purpose. And I made this column from this section of the quote. Purpose for calmness is reliability, and for chaos is confusion. So for calmness, okay, what is my purpose? Reliability. You can refer to your core values. You can refer to your belief, your central life's purpose. My friend Tombra is here. She talks about identity. She helps people uncover, discover, articulate their identity because it's theirs anyways. And is this reliable? What is this purpose here that I want to get? And the other one is confusion. I don't know. I'm moving, but I don't know. And the third one is progress. Progress is process. Anything that you do that you're not willing to go through a process to either achieve or either grow through, you're in the chaos column. The chaos column says impatience of slow growth. Slow growth doesn't mean delay. I know for some reason Christians we have determined that slow is equal to delay, is equal to devil, is equal to all these things. And I look back at somebody like Elizabeth, born to shadow and walk with her niece. Was it her niece or her cousin? Her cousin. And who says she was delayed in childbirth? She gave birth at the perfect time. And there's a teenager, Mary. Hers was also processed. She gave birth as a teenager. Just that being okay till you have what? Definite plan, till you have what? Purpose, till you have what? Progress, a progress that shows itself in a process. And process, stop thinking of process as a sacrifice. Think of process as just the recipe for something great. If they say ribs, I used to always, when I first moved to America and I would have these baby back ribs, I was like, is it the same meat that we cook? Because by sheer force in Nigeria, we will boil the heck out of that thing. Then we turn right back to fry it because we want it to be hard, even if it's soft. And then I see the Americans, they are just patient. They're cooking this thing 12 hours, sometimes 24 hours to very low temperature. And I can imagine somebody walking, I'm like, why are you guys wasting your time? You're wasting electricity. You're wasting gas. No, there's a process. Why? Because there's a vision of falling off the bone that they have seen. Please, if you love baby back ribs, put it in the chat, please. Let me just be seeing that I'm not alone. Now, when you pick up that rib, that just by sheer gravity, that piece of meat starts to just fall down. I know I'm making some of you hungry now. It is a vision. It is a vision. Are you willing to go through the process that will not only ensure that you get the definite plan, but will grow you in the process, will grow your patience? Yeah. That part. I want to remind you, whatever you are building, have these three things: your plan, your progress, and your purpose in mind, okay? We'll go to the next paragraph. My. Where's my share button? Okay, I found you. So the author tries to balance what he's saying in here, because you're like, okay, but brother, I don't have the time, or this thing, the Lord has told me, he's giving me acceleration. We love that word so much. Nobody has ever celebrated a word of deceleration. It's only speed. We hear Elijah and how he ran ahead of Ahab and his chariots. And then we hear of the Israelites who they walked around that mountain for 40 years. Which one do you want? Which one do you feel like God was there? Because it did say he was with both sides. But we celebrate one, we don't quite celebrate the other. So think about it. Hurry is a counterfeit of haste. Now, this is semantics, of course. So you know, in some places you see haste is a synonym of hurry, and hurry is a synonym. Just take it the way he's trying to explain it, okay? Haste, I hear haste is the positive one, and hurry is the negative one. Haste has an ideal, that's haste has a vision, a distinct aim to be realized by the quickest direct methods. I don't know about you, if I'm driving somewhere, I'm like, where is the quickest route there? Well, except I'm taking the scenic route and I'm on vacation. But I'm thinking, where is the quickest, most direct method, right? We don't want to waste unnecessary time. Think about it. Haste has a single compass upon which it relies for direction and in harmony with which its course is determined. Haste is not going to drive a car on the water because that water is a bird's eye direction there. No, it's not in harmony. The car will sink. It's not in harmony. Haste has a single compass upon which it relies for direction, and in harmony with which its course is determined. What does hurry say? Hurry says, I must move faster. I will get 3 compasses. Oh my gosh. That blew my mind. I will have them different. He didn't say I will pick one. He said I will be guided by all of them. One of them will what? Probably be right. Somebody tell me what struck you. When you saw this, what struck you? Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, you have 3 visions. It's like dating 3 guys, trying to make all 3 work because you probably marry one. That's what Hurry says. Hurry's like, I really don't have the time to break up and then start the whole process again. So I'll just go ahead and date all 3. And like one will work out. Hurry never realizes that slow, careful foundation work is the quickest in the end. Slow, careful foundation work. Slow, careful foundation work. A lot of you here, you've built businesses, you've built careers, even your parenting is a building that you're building. And you realize, if we're going to do this thing, we're going to have to be intentional about it. It's going to take time. Believe me, God experienced it more than all of us. He looks at all of us works in progress, never finishing, taking all the time in the world to learn just one thing. You think there's no pressure on him to say, look at my children, they're absolutely perfect now. But he has put the seed in there and he's willing to harvest, to wait for the full harvest. 3 compasses. I need somebody to share now because this blew my mind. This blew my mind.
I think for me, the last sentence right there, hurry never realizes that slow, careful foundation work is the quickest in the end. What was really striking for me is, like you said, a lot of people here, visionaries, apostolic minds, like you build people, you build things. And I find for me, I'm always having conversations with people who want to establish vision and calling and destiny, and they want to know what they're supposed to be doing, but they haven't done the slow, careful foundational work of establishing an identity that even has values in the beginning. So if you don't even have a value system, if you don't have a culture, then you're pulling pieces from what you've seen, you're comparing yourself. Everything that you're doing is just this DIY process of nonsense and confusion, and they don't realize that they haven't traced it back to who even are you? Who even are you? And the collection of what you think is you is probably trauma symptoms and demonic ideology and broken family systems. And it's this combination of all these things that are chaotic. So you can't even establish clear vision from that place. So I think that's what stuck out to me, that slow, careful foundation work of the internal surgery, so that you can get to a place of even having a clear understanding of who am I, what is righteous, what is holy, what is pure, what is noble. And from that place, I can establish
from that place. From that place. It's almost like, where is that place from which you come? And that place has to be the foundation of the building that is you. That place has to, and this is why, if nothing else stands out to you here, just remember singleness of purpose. Singleness of purpose stands from who you are, whose you are, what you're called for. Singleness of purpose. It's not about moving faster. It's about moving in the right direction. One of my mentors, Stephen Covey of blessed memory, who I never met, I'll meet him in heaven. But Stephen Covey talked about how, it's not about how fast you climb. It's about where is your ladder resting against? And is that the building you're looking to climb? Because then it doesn't matter how fast you climb. I remember when I first got married, my husband and I used to have this argument because he would just start driving. I'm like, GPS? It's like, yeah, it's somewhere in this direction. And as we're going, just like, why do you not start your journey with GPS? So now I get in the car, my GPS is already on. Even if the car one is not on, my phone is on. I don't have time to wait in traffic just because we didn't check and that road is blocked. Like if that is the waste of time, that's not the purpose of my calmness. If you know that building this business will require you to put these blocks first, my, you best put those blocks together. I know that some coaches will tell you just start where you are. Starting doesn't mean ending. Starting literally just means starting. A house, you can never hurry to build a house and you put up the window before you put up the foundation. So if you want to make haste building the foundation, not putting the windows on, putting the roof up for a house that doesn't yet have a foundation. You see that? Yeah, that one was major for me. So decide in your life, what am I really doing? Am I making haste or am I in a hurry? Am I courting hurry? And it says here, haste is a definite single compass true north. Hurry, divided focus and allegiances, external influences, trying haphazardly, just haphazard. So what are you building? Have you set out time to plan effectively? Have you gathered or do you have access to the resources to build? And have you taken care to conform to the design? Take care to conform to the design. I think again of those Israelites when Moses went up to that thing and they were like, how much longer? If you have little children, you know this thing. You're taking so long. Oh my gosh. How much longer? How long has Moses been up there? 10 days. Still not down? Yeah, I just give him a couple more days. 12. 12 is like the number of double completion. He will. Day 12, Moses is still not down. I don't know. What day did they even say they started building? They were just like, well, I need to do something in the meantime. I don't even think that desire in itself was bad. Maybe they could have used that time to worship God, to, spend time with family, love on each other again. They were just like, we need to do something. Oh my gosh, what's the shiniest, brightest, boldest thing we can do? And then the ideologies that you don't realize when the idea was coming, you didn't check it against your fundamental ideologies. You didn't check it against your faith. You're just like, anything. I just need to do anything. I just need to date right now. I'm 35 years old. Just allow me. Let me date. Don't stress me. Anybody who comes across, you just date. I don't know if you're not humbled. I'm very humbled by that thing. So now watch me checking myself. I'm checking myself. Like, brother, why are you doing this thing? What is happening? Are you making haste? Are you hurrying? Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll go to the next paragraph. Did anyone have anything to add with this haste and hurry? You all know how we do. You just put your hand up or you just unmute yourself and speak. I know the thing is speechless, but and welcome. I see those of you who've joined us, Abiola, Tola, Kende, beautiful names. Okay, we go back. Now he said hurry has ruined more Americans. Again, remember, it is both a cause and a result. It's amazing. You do something out of hurry, and then hurry is now also the thing, because when you did it, it now didn't work. So now there's not enough time. So it's both a cause and a hurry of our high pressure. Just remember this. High pressure. Anytime you begin to feel that pressure in you, there is not, like literally, except there's an earthquake, there's nothing so catastrophic. You cannot take a minute to breathe. In fact, even if there's an earthquake, how far can you run? If it happens in the moment, the first thing you do is you collect yourself. High pressure. What is pressuring you today? How does your family make decisions? Is it from high pressure? Some people are moving companies now because it looks like, oh, this company is in pressure. And you don't quite know, this is where I should be because this is where my values align. This is where my career aspirations align. This is where I'd rather be. It doesn't matter how chaotic a country is, there's still people thriving there. I don't know how come. If you ask me, I couldn't even possibly tell you. But when God tells somebody, sow in the land, I will bless you there. They're not asking, what is the economic climate? High pressure. Oh my God, see what the news is saying? High pressure, high pressure. This is something you want to step out of. Anything giving you high pressure, you drop it all. I need to get these toys here before Christmas Day. Amazon has been blasting your email last day before you can get these toys in or get these gifts in. High pressure, high pressure. Something to note is that hurry adroitly, that's expertly, assumes so many masquerades of disguise that its identity is not always recognized. So think of anything that's kind of pressuring you now. And you might be thinking, well, brother, it's not hurry. Like, we were just bored. We're just looking for something to do. Hurry, because it's a pace that you're used to. It's a pace that we deem productive. So if we're not always working in that energy, walking in that pace, we think something is wrong. So it looks like boredom, but it's hurry in disguise. It looks like irritability, but it's hurry in disguise. Let's keep going. Let's move. Move. Don't worry, I've even said it before in the past. Let's keep moving. Keep it moving. Let's talk about this. This happened in our relationship. Well, we don't have time to, really look at that. Let's just keep it moving. And it looks cool. It's hurry. It's not being able to sit with yourself. Remember our 3 themes for this study: retreat, rejuvenate, reset. And I argue you can't do the other 2 except you do the first. If you're not able to stop, like literally press the button and say stop, you can't effectively do the others. And to stop is a protest against hurry. All right. Now, going forward, it says here, hurry always pays the highest price for everything. And usually the goods are not delivered. My gosh. Sometimes the poetry of the way William George Jordan speaks is you pay the highest price and it's still not delivered. You hurried. You wanted to finish school fast. Your parents raced you through school. You graduated university at 18 years old. By 14, you were already in college. Where was the hurry to? Really, really, really. I remember sitting in my master's when I went to do my master's degree and I was 25. Oh my gosh. I thought I was the oldest person in the whole wide world. I felt so old. Why? Because there were some 21-year-olds in my class. And I thought about how since I was born, I was always almost the youngest person in my class. It used to give me pressure that I wasn't the youngest. And literally now, I have people who were born in the 2000s reporting to me. I'm like, I literally could have given birth to you. And hurry. You hurry to get there, and then the goods aren't delivered. Why? Because there was no maturity. Because we didn't go through the process. We didn't keep the relationships that would have sustained us at the end because we were hurrying to complete this dissertation, fulfill, college requirements, all those other things we let suffer. Pay the highest price for everything, and the goods aren't delivered. The purpose for which you felt you started out. I'd like somebody to share something that about their own selves that you've seen, or something you've kind of rushed to do, or you've seen somebody rush to do. Just an example. I'd like somebody to share something around this one. Chaka, please go right ahead and unmute.
Hello, everyone, again, and good evening. So,
Good evening,
apart
love.
from the fact that I'm learning new things, I'm also getting a lot of correction and rebuke and saying this is not okay. You need to prune this. So, hurry for me was is very it was, I think, almost legitimate spiritual attack. I didn't know for the longest time. Like you, I mean, you finish, you are the youngest. You within me generally in life. I mean, by my early 20s, my life seemed set, working in nice company, my career, had a great boyfriend, married, and then everything halted at like 30 years of age. I felt that my career ended and I didn't know why. And I didn't realize until my career, my job stopped, that job stopped, that I had hinged my identity on that career path and not on God. And so it was the pivot on what I hinged my definitions of who I was. It was how I introduced myself. It was how I carved an identity, because in 7 years, I was sitting at tables with people who were 10 years older than me. And it was really nice on paper. I was a very, very fly daughter. My mother was proud of me. Look at that. And suddenly, I didn't know how to describe myself. And my life slowed down for the next 6 to 7 years. It just slowed down. And then by the time my career kicked off again, I realized that I no longer define myself by those parameters, because when I was forced to stop hurrying, so it's not like I had sense, I was forced to stop hurrying. So when I was forced to stop hurrying, what happened is that I dug deep and pulled my identity off of God's word. So even now, I see that my career is going pretty well. I'm even doing better than multiple times what I was doing years ago, but no longer defines me. And to me, that growth is phenomenal. If I wasn't forced to stop hurrying on that particular path, I will not have known the depth of which my identity was hinged on what was untrue. I don't know if this makes sense.
Absolute sense. Absolute sense. And you see, this thing Chika said is so true. Sometimes we choose by our own selves to retreat. And retreat is not only just where you go for the weekend. She retreated from her career for a season. Now, it's one thing for you to decide, make a decision, and it's one thing for life to happen to you. When life happens to you sometimes, you're just like, who am I? Where am I? I don't even know. Some people literally, the last 5 years of their lives, they can't really tell you where their minds have been, because the identity went, the career went, and everything went. But there's some people, just like what Chaka is explaining, who actually made the move, but made it again with the singleness of purpose. I'm going to be okay. I'm doing this for my family, or I'm doing this for whatever the reason was for. Absolute confidence. I am who I am, where I am, whose I am. I can walk into any room undiminished by my current, in quote, identity or position in life. And then conscious power. I'm going to still do those things which I'm called to do at any given time. That's it. Calmness of mind. But what do we do a lot of times? And when I say we, not you people here, those people outside. If we're not intentional about not allowing life to dictate to us what our pace should be, we'll get swept up. Thank you so much for sharing that, Chaka. And he said,
Hi.
Oh yeah, go ahead, please share.
Okay, so just one
Hello,
something
Jumoke.
to share. Hi, Brother Ade and everyone on the call. So mine is I don't know if it's part of hurry too. So sometimes it may seem like you're being laid back. So you're not in a hurry, you're moving, things are moving at an okay pace. Then you begin to benchmark against others and wondering if you are at your best. Kind of striking a balance between, that you're not in a hurry and also being, should I say, proactive or on the go. I don't know if you have any comments about how to balance that.
Okay, can you just just say the question beginning to end again?
So I was saying that sometimes it may not be hurry. So you may be moving at an okay pace, like a pace, things are happening and you're moving in your career, you're moving in things, and you seem satisfied, like content, or, but then there's the nudging that, oh, are you okay?
Yes.
Then you start benchmarking and trying to say, okay, should I be where I am? So I'm trying to understand where you should balance
In
between
fact,
hurry and
you just went to chapter 7. That's where you went to.
Mhm.
In chapter 7, we're going to be talking about the difference between contentment and conquest. We're going to be talking about that because there is a contentment that is actually bad. That contentment that would allow that prodigal son to stay in the pigsty. It was content. He was eating pig food. That's nutrition. At least he was not dead. So he could have stayed there, right? And then there was something that nudged him to say, go to your father's house. So he knew that it was time to shift. The difference is that it was not external factors that made you move. It was not looking at and comparing yourself. Okay, all my friends got married at 28. I'm 34 now. I need to. It is that, okay, this is my time. I remember the Bible will always talk about Daniel, how Daniel will go read in the book and be like, okay, it's time for this, for Israel to do this. Okay, it's time for, he knew the times. Why? Because he was led from a foundation of beliefs. So I think for what I would say, Jumoke, is assessing that by your own life's purpose, by those values you have, and by what you believe. Those things most surely believed. And remember, you can make haste. They just said, don't be swept up with the culture of hurry. That haste is your determination. And when I say you and God, right? But the hurry is societal. And that's the thing. And this next place that we're going to be reading, you will see literally what is there as well. In the race for wealth, again, now you can put anything that you are pursuing or anything that men pursue, you can put anything there. In the race for wealth, men often sacrifice time. So those things that will make you sacrifice your time, your energy, your health. Now, when it says time, of course, this is relative and put it in context. If you sacrifice time you should have spent with your family or you should have spent at work, then it's not yours to sacrifice, right? So men often sacrifice time, energy, health, home. And this is men and women, by the way. Happiness and honor. This one is so key. Men sacrifice these things, everything that money cannot buy, the very things that money can never bring back. So the thing that you're pursuing after, the thing that is our goal, our target, and the time frame that we have scheduled around it. Oh my God, I said I'll complete this thing in 2024. And just the very fact that you completed it in March of 2025 makes it feel like it's a failure to you. That is that thing here. It is a phantom of paradoxes, because if you're trying to get wealth, you don't have anybody to enjoy it with. You don't have the health to enjoy it. You don't have all these things. Why are you getting it? Now, is it bad to sacrifice? Of course, we sacrifice energy every day. We actually sacrifice health. It's just that we're supposed to replenish ourselves. We sacrifice home. Many of us will leave home to go to work, to go to school, to do ministry, and we come back after a while. So there's always this balance. But is it a paradox, which is that the more you do, when you go out of the home to work or to do your business, it is so that you can come back and replenish this place. Everything around you is supposed to thrive as a result of this. But if everything is sacrificed for the vision, for the ideal, then it's a paradox. And it says here, it's a businessman. Again, remember, this was written in the 1900s, right? He wrote it in 1880 something or what? Eli, if you remember the year, put it in the chat. Businessmen and women, professional women, visionary women, in their desire to provide for the future happiness of their family, often sacrifice the present happiness of their spouse and children on the altar of hurry. This one is really tough, because are you saying I shouldn't self-actualize? By all means do. But if it's for something, I'm telling you, it's going to look like sinking sand. One of my favorite hymns is all other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand, because if you say Jesus only matters, or Kingdom only matters. Are you then saying, God, like I shouldn't live in a house? What are you saying? But all those things, they can be found in him. Seek first. They forget that their place in the home should be something greater than merely being the man that pays the bills, the woman who washes the dishes, the person. They expect consideration and thoughtfulness that they're not given. Okay, so this is narrow. It's talking about the home. I want you to think about it in your work, in your class, in your business, in your school. Any example you can give. What are you sacrificing to get what? And at the cost of what? What is the sacrifice? What is the sacrifice? Is it worth it? Is it giving back to you that which you know that is what you want? Or are you ending up at the wrong destination? Right? And it goes on. This one it did. When you go back, read the one about the husband and the wife, but it was saying, how do you expect your spouse to be happy and sweet when you come back if you've been away the whole time and then you're upset, or the children bothering the mom and the mom is grouchy the whole time? How do you expect the children to also be happy? It's just realize that in relationships, there is a replenishing, there's a culturing that is needed. Don't say quality time is not my thing. When I see you, and that's that. Of course, I'm talking about your key relationships now. I'm not just talking about every friend. But that is something that you have to reserve time for. For your marriage, your children, your family, there has to be reserved time for that. And when you're going through the workbook, you'll see some of the questions we asked. It'll help you reflect and see, have I been intentional about this? Have I been intentional? For me, one of the things I'm intentional about is seeing my parents at least every year. In the society where I live, it's not a given. It's not even a requisite. But I thought about it. I'm like, this is rather important to me. And I don't want to go for my parents' funeral if I can't see them in real life. I don't want to do that. So that is a value to me. That is more important to me than most things. What is that ideal you have? What is that? And making sure that nothing comes in the way of that. Okay. All right. Let me go to the next point. Yeah, I see my parents every year. People are like, you're going to Nigeria again? If I could go every month, I'll be going every single month. Yeah, that's me right there. Okay. Then he talked about education. This one was so major. Education. We are rushing, learn. I remember when my husband told me that, during their vacations, they used to have lesson, lesson teacher. And I was like, what do you mean? How many of you here in the chat, during your long vacation, if you grew up in Nigeria or even whatever country you grew up in, and you had a long holiday, what did you guys do lessons, like extra tuition? If you did, put it in the chat. Let me know. Did you do some extra learning during the holidays or in the evening? I was so shocked. My jaw hit the ground because our own long vacation, we just relaxed ourselves. Why are we learning during summer? The brain is already full. Or why are we learning in that way that we are learning? You see, this is the difference. There's a learning to be done, but then there's a learning in a particular way. Tola said every evening. Oh my gosh. Why? It's a symptom of hurry. We must pass this jam. We must do this. We must do that. We must do. Are those things bad? No. But if it's to catch a particular time, or it looks like you're doing it because everybody's doing it, yeah, let children be children. It speaks to the educational culture. And I want you to see it so that when you see the systems and the cultures of this world, you can determine that maybe that's not for me. And I can choose another way that doesn't buy into hurry. I said the educational system of today is a monumental institution dedicated to hurry. They are given everything that the ambitious ignorance of the age can force into their minds. They're taught everything but the essentials. How to what? Use their senses and how to think. How to think. How to think. When you read Think and Grow Rich and you study with people like Paul Martinelli and Fono Ekpo, they would always say that that is one lesson we haven't really learned, how to think. We've learned how to do, we have the titles, we have the degrees, but how to think, how to come from this place. I mean, what are we doing here? We're learning how to think. We're learning how to be. But a lot of times, what do we learn? The systems of and the processes of whatever career we have chosen, and rarely going back into ourselves. Who are we? What are we? What do we come to this earth for? How do we do that? We rarely do. And so sometimes our minds are congested by a great mass of undigested facts. Still, the cruel, barbarous forcing goes on. Oh, you have arrived in the UK now. Wonderful. Okay, now write your teacher exam because they only hire teachers and caregivers. Teachers and caregivers. You don't need anything else. So just start. Let's be going. Oh, have you completed your LVN? If you're in America, you know what I'm talking about, your nursing license. Go for the next one. Oh, next one is BSN and MSN. There's no time to waste. Have you applied for this thing now? Let's just be going. You didn't stop to say, hey, Tombra, help me language who I am. And Bralade, executive coach me. Let me step into this version of myself that I see. We've rarely done that. You watch it till it seems you can't stop and then you put your hands. But education smiles. You know, this mind is very vivid. Education smiles suavely, waves her hand complacently towards her thousands of knowledge prisons over the country and say, who are you that dare speak a word? Why? Because no matter how much you talk, except those that have said, I refuse to be a cog in the wheel of this system. I'm ready to master and own my life, take back my power, stay in the majesty of calmness. You won't stop, you just continue. You're in a hurry. But it says something, it said because she fails in 15 years to do half the time should accomplish by better methods, she should not be too boastful. No matter what degrees you have here, there are many of you, you have master's degrees, PhDs, but you know it didn't stop there. I'm currently doing my PhD now. When I was younger and you told me I would have done my PhD, I would have said that time of my life when I'm doing my PhD, nobody else will hear anything in this life because I will feel like in this life I've arrived. I'll be floating, I'll be taking off. But even now as I'm doing it, there's a humility that has come to me. In fact, they say it will come to you when you're doing your PhD because you realize at the pinnacle of what other students are aspiring to, that you actually know nothing, Jon Snow. When they say you know nothing, Jon Snow, that's what you will discover. And you will sit back more humbly, more intentionally to master yourself, okay? So I know this refers to children. So while you're thinking about your children and creating space in their lives, that your children are not so perfectionistic that they don't want to learn, take the time to also tell yourself, it's okay for me to fail sometimes. I tell my kids that all the time. I don't know who put this perfection. They did not get it from me. It's this society. Because I don't know, how come my child get 90? And he's like, but I didn't get one. Where is this artificial pressure coming from? So what have I, if you come to my house, let me tell you what we learn. We learn growth mindset. You will not see any times table in our house. You will not see any numbers, galaxies. No, growth mindset. The journals you will see, there's this journal called the Big Life Journal. It teaches you how to handle your emotions. I have personal development books for my kids. It's not because I said, no, they must become the greatest orator. No, I saw that they started needing it. 10 things every 6-year-old should know. Oh, no, sorry, it's 100 things. So we do it like devotion. And then my 10-year-old too. Why? Because I've seen if they don't do that and they're not intentional with learning how to play with their peers, how to have growth mindset, how to deal with disappointment, how to wait, how not to procrastinate. If they don't learn those things, they will move through life with a dazed mind, untrained and unfitted for the real duties of living. This is some of us. Every month comes, we pay our bills, our mortgages are due on this date, our other bills are due on those dates. So you just keep going, you just keep going. I cook every Saturday. On Sunday, I go to church. On Wednesday, it's midweek service. And this is this. You just go with a dazed mind, untrained and unfitted. Why? You're still asking, what is my purpose? I don't know what I came to this world to do. As far as you say that, you have no business not having a coach. You have no business not being in a mastermind and talking with people, with your friends. You have no business buying a shobi. You've not bought a book. You've not bought a course. No, priorities. Priorities. Okay? So there are many mothers here. And if you experience some of these things, put it in the chat. You've experienced, especially with the children. This is something that I pray, as every mother is becoming more versed in who she is in personal development, that this is something that you do with your children. Take them out, go to a museum, and not label an eye. Where is the cornea? The retina. You don't know where the umbilical cord is. The child's not even going to be a doctor. What? What happened? Okay. And don't make your children do any lesson around the clock. The world is not going anywhere. Let them be children, learning their natural habitat as well. Put every component there. Okay. Don't let one suffer because you're just trying to get them through to Oxford as fast as possible. Okay. Getting to the next part. Oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so good. And I call this last part the indoctrination of hurry. This is the indoctrination of hurry. This is why this is here. To put that thing so that with your peers, you start looking, did they promote this person? Did they not promote this person? Did this? And you know, the more you hurry, the more you also stay the same. Because when people like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, they were dropping out of school to go and start this business, their friends were in Wall Street. They were in Silicon Valley doing big things. Their mothers, if they saw each other and they were going to an Igbo Catholic church, they would have been telling, where is that your son? Is he still in your garage? It looked like they were slowing down, but they were actually accelerating. So it's a lie that because you slow down, you are forever down or you are back. No, it's a lie. Remember the specificity of the plan, of the purpose, then the progress is absolutely sure. Okay? So remember, teaching how to think is just as important as teaching what to think. All right. Number 10. This is the 10th. I go by paragraph. So this is the 10th paragraph. We're almost there. I think there's 3 more. Hurry is the death blow to calmness, to dignity, to poise. I called it hurry impact on calmness, the consequences of hurry. The consequences of hurry. Now, the old time courtesy went out when the new time hurry came in. You know, that thing of you can't. Have you ever been to New York or London here? Everybody just they go. Nobody's stopping. You're in that train every single day. You don't know what is my neighbor's name. You might be sitting by that person, next to that person every single day for the next 11 years. Old time courtesy went out when new time hurry came in. If you can't stop long enough to hold the door for the person behind you, your hurry is too much. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. I know hurry is telling some of you, is she going to start talking now? I thought she was reading something. Calm down. Just take 3 deep breaths. You're okay. You've always been okay. You will always be okay. Calm down. See people. Actually see people. Notice things. Something that amazes me. I'll be like, oh my gosh, look at this thing. And the person I will be like, yeah, I've noticed this. You didn't notice it. I'm like, but you never mentioned it. Oh yeah, just like things change now all the time. Somebody's looking fine. You even saw it, you even smiled at the person. Can't slow down long enough to see. Old time courtesy. They call it old time, but it's not really old. It's still new. Calm down. Calm down long enough to kiss your child goodbye. Okay, they go to school early on time and they was never late a day in high school, or sorry, elementary school, which I find troubling, because why is a child having perfect attendance as a child? What of the day they woke up and say, I'd rather not go today? Can you actually calm down and be like, you know what, I also call it today. Let's just hit the town and stroll. Calm down. Calm down. Even though Lagos is happening around you, let it not happen inside you. Let it not happen. Hurry is the father of dyspepsia. This one, I start to talk about the consequences. He starts to talk about the consequences of the health consequences. A lot of times people think it's only on your mind. But there was a stage I got to, it felt like I was popping painkillers. And I was like, wait, why am I drinking Tylenol, paracetamol so much? Your body is tired, you're just going. So it's a hurry is the father of dyspepsia. Dyspepsia is like stomach issues. And a lot of times, people who are prone to stress, they found out that it worsens ulcers, it worsens your digestion. In the rush of our national life, the bolting of food has become a national device. You know what bolting? When you're stuffing your face. There's no time to stop. There's no time to wait. You go to a restaurant, they are making your food 40 minutes. Who has time? Don't nobody have time. I could have been doing something else. No, that time was for you to be talking, to be reading, to be relaxing. The word quick lunches might properly be placed on thousands of headstones. This man is brutal. So quick lunches is what became instant food, right? Fast food. Man forgets that he's the only animal that dines. The others merely feed. Ooh. If that is not good, what is that? We dine, we sit down. I one of the things that I grew up with was actually sitting at a dining table. I remember coming back from school, we would all come back together. As everybody's going into the house, maybe my mom would have been driving, or my dad. There was one time we had only one car. So we'll go to my mom's office, pick her up. My dad would pick us up from school. We'll go to my mom's office, pick her up, and we'll all go home. When we go home, I'm going in through the kitchen entrance. The rest of them are going in through here. Then I go to the refrigerator, bring our food, start heating it up, making eba. If you don't know eba, you're missing. Making eba and warming soup. And my brother is laying the table. Laying the table is not for guests, my brothers and sisters. What are the cultures you've put in place in your house to teach that time is a value that we honor? Time is a value that we honor. Think about it. Think about it. Okay, what are those things? Then we lay the table. Laying the table means you put the cup, you put the silverware or cutlery, you put the water, even up to water that we used to wash our hands. You don't say, and go to the kitchen and wash your hand. No, you put everything so that when you sit down at that table, you are not rushed. Everybody goes to change. And 1 minute, I'm still in my uniform. Why? Because for me, I didn't want people to go hungry. Nobody even had to tell me. I'll still be in my uniform. And we'll bring everything out, put it on the table. Everybody comes out. We sit at that table. I can see it vividly. It's 4 o'clock. There's heat because we didn't have AC that time. And sometimes sun used to be, there's heat. And we start washing our hand and eating this food. You would think that it's now I'm thinking, looking at it, I'm like, if somebody stopped by, they'll say, is this like the royal family? But no, we were just making the most of what we had. And maybe it even helped us because now that everybody goes to collect their food, one person can eat 3 people's portion. So that one will serve everybody's food. You literally walk up to the table and then somebody else who would take the dishes away is different. That was my brother's own job. We all had our job. But for that 1 hour or so, we were all together at the table. Many times we were not even talking, but we were all present equally at the same time. What is something like that you do with yourself, with your family? Is quiet time really a time that you kind of stop time? Or is it another time you go to war again? We need to have places where we stop time. He's self-respecting. So see, as you start to do all these quick lunches, I don't have time. You stand in the kitchen eating real quick, watching Netflix, talking on your phone. Everything is rush. You even forget. I hear now some people, maybe me, I like food too much. But some people will say, oh, I was so busy, I actually forgot to eat. I was so busy, I forgot to take my medication. I was so busy, I forgot to exercise. I was so busy. It said, when you do that, your self-respecting stomach rebels and expresses its indignation by indigestion. Then you have to go through life with a little bottle of Pepsin. You guys know different variations of this in his vest pocket. He is but another victim to this craze for speed. Hurry means the breakdown of the nerves. It is the royal road to nervous frustration. You're like, you know what, let my nerves take the better of me. If you live in Lagos and you're traveling 3 hours every day to go to the island, and you spend another 3 hours, it behooves you to think, is this how I want to spend the next few years of my life? I believe in sacrifices. I believe if it's something you want to do for a season, for a purpose, yes, it makes sense. But that this is my life and that you resign yourself to it, it's a concern. I'd like somebody to say something about how you believe that hurry impacts. Just how has your body responded sometimes to just the stress and the pace of everyday life? As we're wrapping up for today, I would love to hear from you. Just go ahead and unmute.
So for me, it was during COVID, during the lockdown. Ironically, because the world was slowing down supposedly, but it was actually a frantic time for me. And because I work in operations, and there was lots of pressure. So I would wake up, just start working, and work until nighttime. And it took a while, but then I noticed that my posture started to change. I started to get really bad back pain. I had to start going to the hospital. I had to take some time off work to go and get some physiotherapy. So yeah, the body definitely feels the stress and the strain and reacts to that. Yeah.
Whew. This is a thing. This is a real thing. Because as she's talking now, my back is like, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? So when you see me now, I'm really big on posture now. But when you see me now, trying to maintain the right posture or speaking to somebody around the posture is a lesson. It's a lesson that I learned. I remember when my mom would say, walk like a lady, sit like a lady, talk like a lady. I thought it was an Indian film. I didn't know it was real. See how I'm sitting now? Put your back straight up. Because we're like this, slouching and all, pressing the phone, everything is getting impacted. You see? So true. Thank you for sharing that, Ogo. And you see, when I ask people to share at these things, the truth is you kind of have to accept that this doesn't necessarily put you in the best light. Why? We all like sharing great testimonies and how we did wonderful and all, but this is how we learn. Because if we're able to identify issues, then we're able to redeem them and do so much better. Okay? All right, I'll share this. We have 2 paragraphs to go. Look at us. 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 Yeah, this particular one really, this slow growth one. Whew, if you go online and you just put Majesty of Calmness quotes, this is one of the major quotes you see. This is one of the major quotes you see. Everything that is great in life is the product of slow growth. In fact, can somebody else take this quote? I want to hear it too. I want to hear it. So somebody just unmute and take this quote from me. Just in case you were asking, somebody's you.
I can take it.
Yeah.
Everything that is great in life is the product of slow growth. The newer and greater and higher and the nobler the work, the slower is its growth. The surer is its lasting success. Mushrooms attain their full power at night, and oaks require decades. A fad lives its life in a few weeks, a philosophy through generations and centuries. If you are sure you are right,
Okay, you can stop right there. Yeah.
Okay.
You can stop right there. But look at this part. Look at this. If something is very new, if something is very great, if something is very high and noble, you say you want to reclaim the Bar Beach, you want to extend, you want to create an island. Dubai was not built in the same time that Abuja was built. Abuja was still ground. Dubai, they had to reclaim land. Do you understand? The newer, greater, higher, nobler the work, the slower its growth, the surer its lasting success. This marriage that you're in, you want it to be perfect in 1 year so that you can wear and cool and go on fun vacations and stuff. It's good. It's not like it's a bad desire, but it takes work to grow it. It's slow, but it's sure. It's slow. There's something we used to do, or I came to find out in America. When you're building, you have to cure the concrete. And I used to say, what is that? You have to cure the concrete, you have to treat the wood. This is why you see houses built of wood and they don't rot. And then sometimes in Nigeria, as your wood is coming, they just cut it down morning. You started building with it. It needs to cure, it needs to set because it does shrink. Now, you don't allow that process to take place or you don't expedite that process and you put it in an application where a finished product is supposed to be, it is going to tell in a few years to come. It's going to tell soon. So the surer its lasting success. Everything that is great in life, except you're building something that is not great. If it is great, it is the product of slow growth. Anytime you read the royal family, you read their biographies, you see, oh, they started out when they were younger, they would have governesses teach them, they would have someone from the court train them in royal ways. They will go to war or they'll join the military, they'll go to a specific school. Everything is like line upon line, precept upon precept, building them to occupy the throne. It could have been that, okay, they're already here, they'll do it. No, slow growth. In fact, I'm like, why did they even need to go to that school? They should have just brought the teachers home. They would have just expedited it. No, slow growth. Because anything you think you're going for, if you think the aim is the actual goal, you have missed something great. The aim is who you become in the process. The aim is the relationships you build in the process. The aim is the lessons that will not be removed from you in the process. So what are you building? Is it a mushroom? Is it an oak? Because if it's mushroom overnight, you want to go viral, go and ask the people that have been going viral. You don't even remember half of their names. You watch the TikTok video, you laugh and laugh, but you don't say, oh, this is my teacher. Even though there have been 42 million views, you don't say that's my teacher. It's just viral. That was the purpose. And it's okay. It's a mushroom. But if you want to build an oak, you want to be a Stephen Covey, you want to be a John Maxwell, slow growth. The reason we even call it slow, it's not because it's really slow. It's just that when we compare it to hurry, it looks slow. But it's not actually slow. It's just the fullness of time. Come on now. Jesus was already preaching in synagogues by 12. Why did he need to wait till 33 years old to die? I mean, there was a world of people dying. They should have expedited this thing, maybe at 17, 18. It would have been like, I'm the youngest savior in the world. Look at Moses. For as long as Moses was not ready fundamentally in his mindset, in his values, in his imbibing of the vision, God is like, no problem, just be here, just be here. When you are ready, let's get back to the call. Don't worry, Pharaoh is not running anywhere. The Israelites, they'll be okay. He was ready to wait for Moses to mature, to go and save the Israelites. Wow. Wow. And when you are doing this thing, you're now doing slow growth. What are some of the things you find? You find that the world, your friends, your family, the people who love you are the people who will swerve you. Look, let me tell you, if you know you have a purpose and a dream that is really overarching, mind how you share, because even me, I can advise you wrong. Feel free to share with me. I will try my best to support you. But I might be one of your voices of dissension, because you might be like, okay, he sent me to Cambodia, and I hear that, oh, Cambodia, they are doing firing squads. I might say, oh God, I don't know. Have you ever really thought about Vietnam? It's closer, and it's very close there. And you know, they are more American, they are more. I might start to tell you stuff like that. It's not from a bad place, but you know where you were called to. You do you. If you are sure that you are right, if you know you heard, many of you here are Christians, so you say, I heard from God. If you are sure that you are right, do not let the voice of the world or of friends or of family swerve you for a moment from your purpose. I'm reminded of a Joseph. If I were in Joseph's family, maybe I may not have thrown him into a pit, but I would say, Joseph, you know, your older ones, they'll consider it disrespectful. Stop sharing these dreams. I will advise Joseph, me, yeah, teacher, brother there. I'll say, just be telling me, you know, everybody cannot handle your dream. But what if that was what God asked him to do? I'll be like, Joseph, I know you've been in this prison for a while. I just want you to know there's nothing God cannot do. Are you sure we're doing everything? Maybe we should fast and pray, because the God I know is able to deliver in an instant. It doesn't take him time. But I don't know that Joseph was being prepared to be prime minister. You don't know. You don't know. But it's hurry that will dictate to us to intervene in our family and our friends' life. And sis, I know you have been doing this business. Even me, I've invested. You lost the first money, you lost the second money. I don't want you now to come and be owing banks. Maybe you just go and find employment somewhere if you are sure you are right. Steve Jobs, they even gave you money now. I know you've lost the company, but you built Apple. You should be proud of what you've done. Google said you now have Pixar. Why do you need to go back to Apple? If you are sure, you are right. Elon, you have sold PayPal. This money is more than any money anybody could have made in normal world at your age. Take this money, go and rest, help the poor. If you are sure you are right, do not let the voice. Mary, this pregnancy, you know, sometimes the devil uses God's voice. Show me where in the Bible it says that God will overshadow you. You see, sometimes our theology, we don't know when we start entering the wrong place. I don't think it's God that spoke to you. Let's just remove this baby. Let's give this baby up for adoption. Just hide and just, if you are sure you are right. You see, you can't arrive at this place without calmness. It's calmness that allows you to be unswerved, because you are already immovable. Accept slow growth if what? If it must be slow. And know. It did not say doubt. Know that the results must come as you would accept the lonely long hours of the night with absolute assurance. With absolute assurance that the heavy-leaded moments must bring the morning. I've never seen somebody say, today's night is so dark, I don't think morning is going to come again. Oh, this thing is so dangerous. I don't feel like, we might be entering a night that is so long. We know that morning will come. That's how you should accept your time in this matter. That's how you should accept your time. Who is building something now that feels like it's taking time? I want to invite you to share. I want to invite you to share. Because the last couple of paragraphs, well, the last paragraph really, is almost like a prayer. And I would like you to share before we enter it so that we can conclude this chapter. Who's building something? It feels like this thing is taking time. It feels like surely. How can it take this long to write a book? How can it take this long to build this thing? It feels like. Share. Delay is not denial. Have you heard that phrase? I know it's meant to be encouraging. But who even said there was a delay? What if it's not even a delay? What if this is the plan? Because the oak tree doesn't say, even if my growth is delayed. It's not delayed. It's like I'm an oak. That's how I grow. I don't grow overnight. And you now say, oh, but oak, look at this mushroom. You say, I don't grow overnight. I'm not a mushroom. I'm an oak. I'm an oak tree. Yeah. I said, brother, I'm going to finish my manuscript in 2024. Could I have finished it? Yes. Have I finished it? No. So has the book finished? No. Will I still write? Yes. Because when I wake up, all I know is that there's sun, whether the date is 24, whether it's 25, whether it's this, assurance that I will complete it. And he said here, with absolute assurance that the heavy-leaded moments, because it will weigh on you. Why this thing never blew? I've been building it now. What now? Absolute assurance. Remember, our confidence does not waver. This is where faith comes in. They did not share. Oh God, should I move on? Kendi, are you here with me? Lara?
Let me share. I feel like, oh, well, this book one, totally resonates with me. It's been on my list of things I will do this year, and it's happened for several years. So yeah, that's one that definitely resonates.
But do you know that you can write, Ogo?
Yes.
And do you know that eventually you will finish it?
Yes.
This is it. The rest is planning, which you are planning. But when I look at, I don't know if you saw Chimamanda's new book that's coming out. How long has Chimamanda been out? Oh, sorry. When was the last time she released a book? Do you remember, Ogo?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
I think it's like 9 years.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Did she suddenly fade from our consciousness?
No, no.
She didn't vanish. Imagine Chimamanda sat down pressuring and said, right now, I know what is happening. The press houses, like they are having to make new print contracts because the pre-order is ridiculous. It's happening in March. The pre-order is, and she just kept saying, it's not ready yet. I didn't have the story. And check it. She has her husband, she has her daughter, she has money. So that thing that is making other people rush, some people are like, I must release a book every year. Is it ego or is it really, really true that that's how God told you? Because God does not work by mathematics. When people say this thing is an annual thing, this thing is a thing, it does not normally look at all the Bible stories and all. Doesn't usually always just say, oh, times and seasons. It doesn't respect times and seasons. He's the one who sets times and seasons. And this woman now, she has not left our consciousness. In fact, the more people want her, the more they buy the former books. They keep buying Purple Hibiscus. They are buying half of a Yellow Sun. There are book studies. More universities are adopting the books. And baby is just chilling. Now, when I say she's just chilling, to us, she was just chilling. But it was the process of creating this new book. And this new book, if you read it, if you like novels and literary fiction, which I love, myself and Olga, BFF, author, you will see that is like an amalgamation of many of the characters she has written about in the past. It's just amazing. So there's just an assurance, absolute assurance. And as we go into this last part, I want you almost to take it as a prayer, take it as an edict. One of my mentors, Cindy Trim, she will say, I decree and I declare, it will be such a moment for you You would just be like, you see, hurry, me and you from today go no more. So let's end with this part. Well done. Look at all of you troopers. I'm proud of you. Let us, as individuals, banish the word hurry from our lives. Can you see my screen? Because I'm not seeing that. Do you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you're seeing the article, right? Okay. So let us as individuals banish the word. Now I'm so intentional that, when you're getting kids ready for school in the morning, I don't use the words hurry, hurry, quick, fast. I remove those words from our vocabulary. If somebody does not make it to school today, you're going to be okay. And maybe sometimes allow them to miss school, because it's better to pay the consequences than for you to be a frazzled mom every morning. You wake them up, they won't wake. You ask them to do this, they won't do. They are delayed. How to rush them out? How to be like, you'll be late, you'll be late. The problem now became your problem. You don't have hurry energy in your body. You are now tense. You'll be like, guys, if you don't wake up at 6 a.m., you'll be late. It's you that will stand outside your school. In fact, I liked when I was younger, they'll tell you to kneel down for being late. Meanwhile, it's your parents that made you late. This life, things have really changed. Now they'll tell you to call your parents. Before, it's you, the child. I'm like, how does a child's parents not paying their school fees translates to them being flogged? Like, it don't even make any sense. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. Well, that's something we do in some parts of Nigeria. So banish the word hurry. Banish it. I remember one time my husband was getting upset about that thing. He's like, you know what, from now on, you guys will start waking up at 4 a.m. I'm like, if you can do anything that will make you not hurry. And I wake up, sometimes I wake up by 3:30 a.m. My friend Tomba will be like, huh? Why are you waking up so early? I don't want to feel frazzled. Hey, Russia, hey, why? Why are you entering the airport? Only you are running, kitty, kata, kata, kitty. Care. Banish the word hurry from your life. Don't care for anything so much that you would pay honor and self-respect as the price of honoring it. I must get this thing, so I must borrow this money to make it happen because of time, and because I cannot, you would pay honor and self-respect. Is borrowing money bad? No. Did you do it because of hurry? If that's the reason you did it, it's an issue. Would you pay honor and self-respect as the price of hurrying it? Honor and self-respect. Honor and self-respect. Collecting souvenirs at wedding. Me, I've not got it. Everybody goes back to like elementary school. Hurry. No calmness, so you can't be majestic. Hurry. Let us do what? Let us cultivate calmness, restfulness. When I enter your presence and Ogo smiles at me, I feel calm. When Chidima laughs, I'm like, it is restful. When you see Chiaka on the mic, you see poise, doing our best. So it's not that we just have these speak to our demeanor. It's not like we just have all these things. No, we also do our best. We also face adversity. This means that you work hard or you work diligently. Because it's a work ethic. It's not a, what you might call it? It's not hurry that is saying, that's putting pressure on you. It's not pressure, it's your work ethic. Bearing all things as bravely as we can. Because that you're majestic, that you're calm, that you're poised, it doesn't mean adversity or life will not happen to you. It still will. You've already planned that you'll be at the airport by 1 p.m. And that's the day this tanker decided to fall across the road. Are you going to complain for the next 3 hours? You will complain, you will miss your flight, you will cry, you will be angry, you will quarrel with the people at the airport because they did not keep the gate open for you, because they did not know there was a trailer. You will be, everything is just frazzled. So how about when that trailer falls there, you're like, I would have loved though. but bearing all things as bravely. Okay, I kind of need to walk till I walk past this area. No problem. As bravely as we can. That flight is missed. What am I going to be? Am I going to be irritable? Am I going to be angry all night? Nah, it's not worth it. Bearing all things as bravely as we can. Living our life undisturbed by the prosperity of the wicked or the malice of the envious. Undisturbed. Let me tell you the truth. I don't know anybody that doesn't like me. If they exist, they can't even convince me, even if they tell me to their face, they can't really convince me that they don't like me, because I know that it must be blinders. So it must be blinders of mindset, or blinders of maybe they don't really know me. Well, like, it doesn't matter what somebody does. I doubt that you can really truly be malicious towards me. Effectively so. So my life is undisturbed by the prosperity of the wicked. Because you're like, but I did everything right. I did this thing. I did. If the reason you expect to be pregnant is because you were a virgin when you got married, or you didn't, you pray every morning. Do you understand? Like, on your own righteousness, it's going to pain you when you see that Ron's girl having 3 children, triplets. She's even complaining that the children are too many now. You know, I wonder, God in heaven, how do you normally behave, sir? Because why? No, undisturbed by the prosperity of the wicked or the malice of the envious. Let us not be impatient. Don't be impatient. How you wait matters. How you choose to wait matters, because life will make you wait so many times. You'll be like, I just want to know, God, if it's from you or if it's from me or if it's from others. Let me go and attack somebody. No, don't chafe at delay. Once you are delayed, it's a predictable thing. Like a child, it's like, I want it now, I want it yesterday. If I don't have it, chafing at delay, fretting over failure. We're going to deal with failure next weekend. Failure. We talk about even if you have failed, because some of us, nobody needs to punish us. We are the masterful executioners of ourselves. We can punish ourselves very well. Oh God, you didn't finish this book this 2024. Come and enjoy yourself this January. Let me see you. You will be miserable. You'll be depressed. You will never sleep. Only you by yourself. For devil is not very among in this conversation. Not this Ogo, the other Ogo. And you start telling yourself these things, and you fret over failure. No, we don't do that. Let us not do that. Let us not worry over results. How far? What are the numbers looking like? When I put those ads out, I expected 500 emails. How many do we have now? 50? Oh my gosh, my target was this, my that was that. We're wearying over results. So mothers now, results will be coming out in January. Wearying over results. Wearying, stressing yourself, and weakening under opposition. Do you really believe you will not have opposition? No. So we will not be impatient. We will not chafe. We will not fret. We will not weary. And we will not weaken. Oh, I'm just weak today. I'm just weak. Leave me alone. We will not weaken. Yes, can you be tired? By all means. Are you a weak person? No. Are you weak right now? Maybe. But your personality is not weak. And we do not weaken under opposition. We tire, we rest, we fight another battle. The war is not over. The war is not over. Okay, did we even fail? We will not fret. Remember what the first chapter said. It said, we will look at the failure in the eye and we'll say, I will do it again. We'll go again. We go again. We go again. Why will we not go again? We do it again. If it's something I'm supposed to do, we do it again. Let us ever turn our face toward the future with confidence and trust. Only us. God, the Lord is the strength of my life. Only us. Oh my gosh, I cannot stand this battle. My life is over. A city divided, it cannot stand. We can't be all over the map of this thing. Emotions don't define us. Do we feel it? We feel it. You feel it, you go through it, but we know who we are inside. Inside is calm. Remember, only the first 200 feet is bothered. The rest of the ocean is calm. Let inside be calm. Turn your face towards the future with confidence and trust, with the calmness of a life in harmony with itself. I will not be outside that which I am not inside. I will not. I will marshal all my energies to stay in alignment with who I truly am inside, with what I truly believe. If my belief self is a problem, I change the belief. Because some of us are carrying limiting beliefs around and we're saying this is who we are, this is how we are, this is how I think. You can change it too. You can change it too. A life in harmony with itself, true to its ideals. Every time you see ideals, put beliefs, visions, and slowly and constantly progressing towards their realization. Remember what we said about water. Water erodes. You put water here, that building must come down one day, or that rock. It will keep acting upon the rock, acting upon the rock, acting upon, till it finds a way through it or around it. So you better give water a path to go. You can put a building inside it too, but can this water go around? If it can go around, it's fine. But if there's nowhere else, that building will come down. It's a matter of time. That time might be 100 years, but it's a matter of time. Let us see that cowardly word, hurry, in all its most denigrating phases. Don't be deceived by it. Don't be deceived into thinking, oh, we must quickly graduate. My friends' children, they've entered the school, so let me rush them to this other school so that they can catch up. Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. Let me quickly rush to this company. People have started earning this. I remember people who left companies just so that they could earn $5,000, even $20,000 more. And the people who stayed there, it looked like they were slow. And now the CEOs that they're trying to meet to say, I used to know you, hire me back. Don't be deceived. It is degenerating. Hurry is degenerating. It doesn't in any way give you back anything. Let us see that it ever kills truth, loyalty, thoroughness. How many of us have seen politicians in their term? Sometimes they want to build something, they just rush, build it so that they can launch it on 100 days of office. Hurry energy. And later you can't see the thing. Rush. It kills truth, it kills loyalty, it kills thoroughness. And let us determine that day by day, day by day, day by day. It's not once and for all, it's day by day. We will seek more and more to substitute for it the calmness and the repose of a true life, nobly lived. Brethren and sisters, I'll be taking questions now and comments. What has stood out to you today? Everybody's going to speak, actually. So if you haven't spoken, this is your cue to go ahead and unmute. And if you've spoken before, don't be like, is it only me today, my voice? We want to hear. What is something that has stood out for you and one action you think you can change? One awareness that's come to you, or one action you think you can take, or something you want to adjust? The floor is yours. Our next class, I will have somebody else be our question asker so that we can all ask and learn and hear together. All right, I know Lua Uduebo. You ready? I almost feel like I know you're putting it in the chat. Wants to still hear your voice. Wants to still hear your voice. Chidima is saying, banish hurry from your mind. What's Ele saying? What's Candy saying? Lara. Oh, Mo is right here. Your one thing. Is that Tolak Badipo? If you are, let me know.
It is, my love. You're looking great. Looking really good. Mwah.
Thank you, darling. So Tola, please share.
The one thing for me was the palm tree analogy. That always resonates. I think that's really for me because some fruits in life just seem like it's taking so long, but I'm always reminded that of course the palm tree is special and it's fruitful and it just takes long. Or what was the other one? Was it the oak tree that you used?
Yes, the
Yeah.
oak and the mushrooms. Yeah.
The oak and mushroom. So that really stood out for me.
That is so true. Because I mean, we're not blind, right? So we see. It's possible for something to come in earlier now. I remember when I went into project management work. So I lead a team an engineering team that does a lot of projects, executes a lot of projects. Let me tell you, they think that I like to make things happen. So for example, we say this thing will be built by 2026, May. And maybe the people need it to be in April. And my people with all the engineering brain, they're like, this thing, it cannot come in before April. I'll be like, come on now, we can work things out. Is it not time? We can hasten a few things. So we sit down with the schedule and I started to say, what about if we reduce this? And some places, maybe they gave me 1 week or 2 weeks to approve something. I'm like, I will do it the next day. And then they're able to remove that from the list. That's haste. Why? Because we have a definite aim. We have a definite purpose versus hurry of, let's hurry. We have to move on to the next thing. No. So I do understand when you feel like something is taking long, you can question. But every time you question, you meet that state of calmness, that state of being within that says, it's okay. I guess this is an oak tree, but how long it's taking, instead of a mushroom that's here today and gone tomorrow. Thank you, Tola, for sharing. Okay. Mo, I know you just came. It's okay. You can still speak because I know you were here when I was still speaking. Mo asked the question that somebody asked earlier, which is or a version of that question, which is how do we balance this topic hurry without becoming slothful or nonchalant? You will find out in chapter 7, but I'll give a little bit of it here. And if you listen to the replay, you'll hear more. Giving up is not the same as being calm. Giving up energy, slowing down, delaying, being stuck energy, because you're still not okay. You will find out the people who are slothful. Slothfulness is one of the what do you call it? Behaviors of symptoms of depression as well. So you're not okay inside. You know you're being slothful. You know you're not caring enough. So you're not okay. That calmness one, you are okay. You are in congruence. And your arms are not idle. It said here, it said doing day by day. Who remembers that part? You can put it here. When you say, let us banish, it said, and I'll find it. Yeah, doing our best. It said, let us cultivate calmness, restfulness, poise, sweetness, doing our best. And that is one of our chapters we'll go to, doing your best. Because now we're talking about the state inside, your external, your locus of control. We want it to be from inside, not from outside. And then we'll talk about how do you do your best. So we're coming there. That's chapter 5, doing your best at all times. Self-reliance, really holding yourself responsible. That is how you balance your calmness. Because sometimes some people are doing their best, but they're also frazzled. They're like, I'm doing as much as I can. Why is this thing not working? No, we want you to be doing your best as well as holding that state of mind that allows faith to thrive and allows hope to pervade your internal environment. Achaka, I know you spoke before, but it's okay. You can speak again now.
I'm just laughing. It's just a lot to unpack for me, and I think it's just the book generally is what I needed. But then what I think worried me a bit was when he said hurry is like the curse of the American society, and that was 100 years ago. And I'm thinking, I don't want to know what he thinks about our society now. Nobody should wake him up. He is not going to find it funny. And I think that hurrying sometimes is how did the writer say it camouflages, it disguises. Multitasking is one of the undercover undercover disguises, the camouflages of hurry. Oh, I want to do 3 things. And then you do shoddy work, substandard work, you make mistakes, you have to rework, or you're not checking properly, and then we do it all over again. Work done equal to 0. So I'm just saying, for myself and everybody listening, look for the camouflages of hurry, the things that don't outrightly seem like a hurry, the pressures that society and your immediate environment are putting on you to see. And it's very subtle, especially when you talk about the education. So because I'm Nigerian, living in Nigeria, I always have a fight with my children in school. My children will be like, want to be an honor roll A, and I'm like, why? B is fine, really.
And they're like, does our mother not want us to succeed? But other people, they've told them that your mother said, don't come home.
And they say things like that. Like, my friend's father said, if we don't get honor roll A, they will not buy them ice cream. Like, you're eating ice cream either way, honor roll A or B. Did you give it your best? Yes, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Keep moving.
That is the answer to your question, what she just said. Did you give it your best? Because this mother is seeing them work their butts off to do the right thing, to study. You study like that and you come 6th, you were first in my mind. Because you gave it your best.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. That's okay. So I'm just saying, watch out for the camouflages of hurry. And especially there are things about age. At 30, you should be this. I'm coming up on my 40th in a short while, and I'm thinking at 40 you should be. Forget that thing. Don't stress yourself. It's not that deep. None of it is that deep, really. It isn't.
You know, one time Pastor Chris said something. He said, people that say, do you know when my mates are talking? Do you know what my mates are talking? He said, some of your mates are talking in prison. Why are you not talking there? Where my mates, this thing about my mates. I remember, Chaka, when did your parents have their own house?
True. It's true. A long time
because now we must have the house before we even marry.
So it's very subtle, and it's very and very harmful. And I say to those who I feel in my immediate circle feel temporarily depressed. I'm not saying clinically depressed. Those ones need medical help. I mean temporarily depressed. I say, you want to get a cure for your feeling down low. I have 2 recommendations. Number 1, you need a visit to a maximum security prison in Nigeria. It will clear you of all your immediate problems. Number 2, you try to do a hospital visitation. I suggest, number 1, like a children's emergency ward, or maybe the oncology wing. See those in stage 4 and stage 3 cancer. It kind of puts you in perspective. We have some so take off the pressure. Go at God's pace. Let me not say at your pace. Your pace may be wrong. Go at God's pace. Give it your best, and that's good enough. If it doesn't work out, we'll go again tomorrow.
That's all. I mean, that was what Moses did. I don't think God wanted Moses to, kill that first guy that he killed. But it's like, he's still there. He will still work with you. This thing of like, I missed his timing, I missed his day, it's all gone. He loves us. We love those Bible says, even when we didn't even have sense. Now we even have half sense. Then all of a sudden, because we didn't make that phone call. Nah. Okay, thank you so much, Chaka, for sharing. All right. Where are my 2 more people? You guys, you don't even know me now. You will see me in your dream this night if you don't unmute and speak. You don't know me. Next time, if I see you entering the call, I'll just be like, mute. Sorry, not mute, expel. Yeah, I would do it so majestically. You'll be like, how can she do such a thing with her face being calm? I'm gonna show you how. So you better you do want to speak right now. Okay? Yeah, go ahead and speak. Except I've not sufficiently threatened you enough. If you haven't put something in the chat, let me see. Kende said you're speaking to me right now. Okay, Kende, what was I speaking about at the time? Okay, Ogo. They say they won't tell me. So let me do what?
Hi,
Hey,
good evening.
good
I'm so
evening.
sorry. I've not been able to talk since.
Okay, well, you're
Um,
here now.
yes, I had to run up here. I was talking about when you were talking about waking children up in the morning in such a hurry. And I keep wondering, I make them sleep early enough and just wake up early enough. And it's always a struggle. I've had this struggle for the past how many weeks now. And I keep saying, what can I do? So when you said, okay, they should actually feel the consequence, I think I'm going to take that up really soon. And secondly, I'm just so happy and so glad for this coaching, because the state at which I am presently is the gap between where I need to be and where I am
Come
presently.
on.
And it's been really I'm sorry.
No problem.
You didn't charge my car. Sorry, I will help you soon. And it's been really tough, Lady Bralade. I really feel like, God, how can I rest? I have a lot. If I rest, it's going to be like, what are you even doing? It's not even can you be resting? But he just keeps saying, stay with me. And it's been a little bit stressful for me, but I'm just thankful for this, because it's really going to help me to be in that place that I need to be, just so I'm able to put structures into place and go ahead from there. So thank you so much for doing this.
Ken, they love it so much. And I think that is the fact that you even have a vision of where you're supposed to be. It should even give, sometimes we're looking for big things, but the fact that we carry vision in our heart, it should be an assurance that there's still a God and things are still working out in my favor. How come we have not actually given up? Why is it even paining us that, there's something we haven't actualized? When you think all these things, you allow it to give you peace. You allow it to, I'm still breathing, I'm still alive. We'll do this. Do I feel a certain way? Yes. And this is why it says banish hurry. Banish it, because it's already there. We know. So you put it, it said like, when you are a calm person, you can see what's happening outside, but it's not coming inside. It's like there's a plastic bag in front of you. You can see the water doesn't get to you. You can see that there's action there, but the noise, you hear it very faintly, because the world is noisy. So thank you for sharing that a lot. I promise you, if you do this thing calmly, if you see me setting boundaries very calmly, because calmness means that you've already made a decision. Okay, the decision is that your mom is not going to be frazzled every morning trying to get you guys to bed. What are the things that frazzle me? Oh, when I go into their room in the morning, I have to wake them. As I'm waking them, they're going back. I have to drag them. I'm carrying them. So you say, what is my singleness or purpose? I want them to wake up. You get an alarm clock and you just stand by the door. As the alarm clock is not allowing them sleep. Alarm clock is doing, oh my God, what's all that noise? You wake up, you go bathe. If you miss the bus, there's no tablet for you, there are no books, there are no this. You sit at this dining table the whole time and you will work on this work. That's just, oh, you missed the bus. That's sad. Oh, I guess we'll all learn together, maybe to get up early. What do you think we could do? They'll start to tell you, I think tomorrow I'll wake up and mommy, you didn't wake me up. Mommy, you didn't. It's not my name that's on the school register. Your name is on there. So it's your responsibility. But I can help you. How do you want me to help you? Do you hear how my voice is sounding now? I'm not thinking other mothers are going to judge me. I'm not thinking the school is going to this thing. I'm not, all that hurry energy is not worrying me. I'm okay. Oh, you are late. I guess you have to stay home alone with the nanny. Maybe I'll ask this auntie to come, because you were supposed to make the bus. mommy's going to have to be working, so I can't even really spend that time with you. Kende, if you do it, send me a message. You will see. Do it one day. I remember telling someone, she was like, as she takes her sisters to church, they're always making her late. She serves in church. And I said, so why are you late? No, my sisters. I said, no, you. Why are you late? My sisters. I said, what does it take for you to get to church early? She said, I have to drive there. No, I said, drive. What time do you have to leave? I said, leave. I said, but tell them. Boundaries means you tell them. So tell them, we leave by 7 a.m. this morning. I leave because it's only myself I can control. I leave by 7. If anybody is in the car by that time, I'll take you home. She said they could not believe that she left then. I said, it takes one time for people to believe you. It takes one time for people to believe you and one consequence. Okay, do I have any other comments or questions before we leave for today? Okay, we will take it up in our group, in the WhatsApp group where we are. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and put it in there. But allow yourself, when you find these questions coming out, before you ask more, go through the workbooks. Take time. This is a retreat time. Take time. Schedule your me moments, 1 hour every day, 30 minutes every day, and do your best to stay on not more than 2 or 3 things. Maybe if your church is doing a program and this, and maybe one other thing, maybe academically or officially, don't be in 100 different things. Check out if you registered. I don't know if you registered for the course. If you registered, the email would have it. If not, Ele, can you put it in the chat here? If you can put the WhatsApp group in the link to the WhatsApp group in the chat, that will be helpful. Oh, you did register. It's in the email. It's in the email, so you'll see it there. All right, but I really enjoyed spending time with you. This replay will be up later today, and you will get time to enjoy it. Now, we're meeting back on Sunday here, and it'll be by the power of personal influence. That's our topic, and we'll be doing it together again. Remember to tell your friends, to tell their friends, to tell their family and all, because we want to grow together, we want to learn together. This power of personal influence, you could just shock. You will love it, basically. All right. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, Tola. Thank you, Kende. All right, bye, Anu.